The Galactic Confederation had never encountered a species quite like humans, born on what the Confederation classified as a death world. Humans had evolved under crushing gravity, amidst unpredictable weather patterns, and alongside apex predators that would give even veteran Confederation soldiers nightmares. Commander Locks of the Confederation military forces stood at the bridge of his flagship, peering down at the view screen displaying the human vessel that had requested permission to dock. It was small, barely a quarter the size of his own ship, yet it had completed a journey through territory that the Confederation considered too dangerous to traverse without a full battle fleet. Commander, his second-in-command, Trell, whispered anxiously, "Are you certain about allowing these Death-Worlders aboard?" Lox's 4 eyes blinked in sequence, a gesture of mild annoyance. The humans have proven themselves valuable allies in the outer sectors. This is a diplomatic mission, Trell. Show some backbone. The humans were led by Captain Mike Reynolds, a specimen that Lox found particularly intimidating despite standing a full head shorter than himself. The human had scars across his exposed forearms, evidence of past injuries that would have been fatal to most Confederation species. "Welcome aboard the Galactic Vanguard," Lox said, extending his upper limb in the human greeting called a handshake. Captain Reynolds smiled, revealing flat teeth that nonetheless sent a primal shiver through Lox's exoskeleton. "Thank you, Commander. My crew is honored to be here." The initial meeting went well, with discussions of trade routes and mutual defense pacts proceeding smoothly. It wasn't until the tour of the human vessel the following day that Lox began to understand why the Confederation Council was so cautious about human integration. "This is our recreational deck," Reynolds explained, leading Lox and several officers through a large chamber filled with various equipment. "Keeps morale up during long journeys." Lox observed humans lifting metal objects many times their body weight, running at speeds that would exhaust most Confederation species within seconds, and engaging in what appeared to be ritualized combat. "You fight each other for recreation?" Trell asked, mandibles clicking in distress. Reynolds laughed. "That's just sparring, martial arts. Keeps reflexes sharp and builds camaraderie." A tremendous crash echoed through the chamber as a human female slammed her opponent to the padded floor. Both combatants immediately rose, bowed to each other, and walked away chatting amicably. "They nearly broke each other's exoskeletons," whispered another officer, "and now they display positive social bonding behaviors." Next, Reynolds led them to what he called the game room, where humans were engaged in activities that made Lox's antenna twitch with anxiety. "What purpose does this serve?" Lox asked, watching humans chase and tackle each other over an inflated sphere. "Rugby, just a friendly match," Reynolds replied. "Nothing builds team spirit like a good contact sport." As they continued the tour, it passed what Reynolds called a climbing wall, an artificial cliff face that humans scaled without safety equipment. In another area, humans competed to throw small pointed objects at specific targets, their accuracy alarming the Confederation officers. All of these activities, Lox observed, they involve pain, risk of injury, and simulated combat or predatory scenarios. Reynolds nodded thoughtfully. "I suppose they do. Never really thought about it that way. It's just how we unwind." The tour concluded at the mess hall, where humans were consuming a variety of substances that scans indicated contained capsaicin, caffeine, and even trace amounts of ethanol, all compounds classified as defensive toxins on other worlds. During the return journey to his ship, Lox remained silent, processing what he had seen. The Confederation had always viewed humans as resilient, but had underestimated their psychological makeup. What other species considered traumatic or life-threatening, humans pursued voluntarily as recreation. 2 days later, an unexpected threat emerged. A Drizari pirate fleet, notorious for their ruthlessness, ambushed the Confederation diplomatic convoy. The Drizari, evolved from pack hunters on a jungle world, had built their society around the concept of preying on the weak. "Shields at 40%, reported Trell as another volley struck the Galactic Vanguard. "We cannot withstand another barrage." Then, to everyone's surprise, the small human vessel positioned itself between the Confederation ships and the Drizari fleet. "What are they doing?" Lox demanded. "They'll be destroyed." The view screen flickered to life, showing Captain Reynolds. Behind him, his crew was busy at their stations, but strangely, they were smiling. "Commander Locks," Reynolds said, "we'll draw their fire. Our hull can take it, and we're more maneuverable. When I give the signal, bring your weapons to bear on their flagship." Before Locks could protest, the human ship accelerated toward the Drizeri fleet, executing maneuvers that defied conventional physics, all while broadcasting an ancient human battle song over an open channel, a rhythmic pounding melody that made the Drizeri communications fall silent in confusion. The human crew worked with a coordination that bordered on telepathic, calling encouragement to each other as energy blasts scorched their hull. They were laughing, joking, treating mortal combat like one of their recreational activities. Where the signal came, the Confederation ships struck in perfect unison, and the Drizeri fleet scattered in disarray. Later, during the victory celebration, Locks approached Reynolds. "Your crew exhibited behavior that our psychologists would classify as severe battle psychosis, yet it was clearly deliberate." Reynolds shrugged. "We call it getting psyched up or adrenaline rush. It's how humans face challenges." Locks's mandibles twitched in what humans might interpret as a smile. "I believe I understand now. What we consider trauma, you consider team building. What we see as danger, you see as sport." "Pretty much," Reynolds agreed, raising a glass containing a liquid that would incapacitate most Confederation species. To different perspectives. As Locks watched the humans celebrate, he realized that the Confederation had much to learn from these Death World dwellers, beings who didn't just survive adversity, but transformed it into strength. Perhaps, he thought, what truly separated humans wasn't their physical resilience, but their ability to find joy in challenge and unity in hardship. Across the galaxy, word spread of the battle and of the strange creatures who laughed in the face of death. For the first time in Confederation history, the Drizeri pirates avoided Confederation space, not for fear of their weapons, but for fear of encountering the humans again, the beings who treated war like sport and found morale in what others would call madness.